Welcome, everybody. It is gig playing season in full force, at least at the time this is recorded. And I've gotten a couple questions about the best way to book gigs lately, so we're going to cover some of the key aspects of what to do to book gigs here today on this episode of Dojo TV. The main thing that I'd like to cover today is what to do when you're on the phone with a potential gig that you're going to book, that you want to book, right? This could be a funeral, it could be a wedding, it could be a party, it could be a St. Patrick's Day gig at a bar. You want to ask pretty much the same questions every time. And sure enough, over the years of playing gigs, I finally kind of realized, especially when I saw some of my peers and how organized they were about their gigs, I finally realized I needed to have a plan and I needed to know exactly what to do. So, as you know, we like to do at the dojo here. I used that plan for many years, but why not just polish it up and offer it to the world? So I've actually done that. We actually have what we call a 3-stage gig perfection system that we teach people how to do in order to make sure that nothing ever gets screwed up at a gig. We actually have a free PDF guide that shows you exactly what you should do on the phone, exactly what you should do leading up to the point of the gig, and exactly what you should do on the day of the gig. So if you check out the link here somewhere in this video, or either maybe below this video in the post, you can find the link to that PDF now, so super easy to get your free copy of that. But today let's go over what you should do on the phone. So when somebody calls you, I always have my routine down, and it's down in a piece of paper. I actually use now the exact guide that we have here at Dojo U, but it tells me what to do with my phone call protocol. So you can either write down these steps now, or you can print off the free PDF. It's up to you. But the first rule of thumb is you want to be yourself. Don't be too stiff. Don't be too loose. Just, be yourself and be as professional as you can. So they're going to call up and they're going to say something along the lines of, I'm really interested in booking you for my event. What do you need to know? The first thing that you want to do, don't get into how much you cost up front, right? That's not the best way to go, because you don't want to scare them off with a price before you've had the chance to sort of impress upon them exactly how professional you are and that you know exactly what you're going to ask, right? So the first thing, what is this event? What am I going to play at? Next thing is, what time is it at? What time should the piper arrive? Okay. How long will you need me for? Are there any other details you want me to know? Next thing is, on the day of the gig or on the day of the event, who should I contact? Should it be you or is it somebody else? And if so, just let them know you're going to need their number, right? And then you're going to say, what is the location of the gig? Okay, and then once you've talked through all that stuff, then they're going to talk about how much you cost. When you formulate your payment terms, you should have a little system. I sure do. I have the price for the first hour of my performance, which will be higher than the additional hours because you have to calculate travel time, getting dressed, and just sort of the general appearance fee. And then additional hours are kind of like bonus upsells that are a little bit less expensive. You can decide what you're worth. That's not what this video is about. Then you go into the payment terms with them, how much you cost, and as long as they're okay with that, then you want to talk about how much money will be due up front and how much money will be due on the day. Depending on the type of gig, will depend on whether or not I charge 2 payments. Usually for weddings, I do 2. Usually for funerals, I just accept payment on the day. It's pretty rare that someone's going to stiff you for a funeral and not show up. So, plus I tend to do those for a little bit less money. To help out families, and I feel like it's sort of the right thing to do. And so if the worst case scenario happened and I didn't get paid, that's something I'm prepared for. Meanwhile, weddings and bridezillas and stuff, I definitely want to get my deposit up front. So there you go. So I get all that information down in the first phone call, and it's written down on a piece of paper. And from there, we do our other key checklist items, which we'll talk about in another episode here of Dojo TV. So I hope you enjoyed that little gig organizational tip. It's so important to get those gigs right and do the best you can for your clients. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next episode here of Dojo TV.